What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Yo, it's the Arkatech Beatz. Music, production, and beat making tutorials for hip hop. I'm your main man, juggernaut of multi-platinum production crew.
Arkatech Beatz.
Shout out to my partner, Mike Trauma D, if it's your first time here. Welcome to the channel. It is a Saturday night, and we're going to be cooking up. We're going to be answering any questions. Ask me anything about the music business. Again, we are multi-platinum producers, Big Pun, Nas, everybody. And I got a few beats that I want to clean up tonight. So I'm going to be cleaning up some of these beats. Put them in song mode. It's a late night, man. Saturday night. Thomas, what up? Born Ready, what up? Damn, it's 10:30, man. I didn't mean to get on this late. But had another family stuff today, Saturday, you know what I mean? Appreciate you, Thomas. Let's go. Listen, if it's your first time here, I'm your main man, Juggernaut, Arkatech Beatz. We are multi-platinum producers, Big Pun, Nas, Jadakiss, Raekwon the Chef, Max B, Freddie Gibbs, Saha, Killer Mike, Shorty Low, R&B songstress Maya. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, it's your first time here. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure y'all sharing the live. Let's get busy. Trying to get comfortable here. We're gonna be here for a while. Let's go. So this right here look like it's gonna be our main groove. Let's see what's on sequence 2. That's gonna be our verse. And then this one is Yo, if you're just getting into the live, man, we trying to just clean up some joints. I did a whole lot of tracks in the last 42 days. Like, there's a lot of tracks. So I've been trying to go through them and trying to, I guess, get them sequenced, put them in song mode. We laid down a lot of ideas. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's been in the live, that's been following that. So I'm going to walk y'all kind of through the process tonight. We're going to be listening back to some joints, cleaning up some joints, just kind of getting a feel for what's going on. At the same time, trying to really build these packs, because ultimately what we want to do is we want to take these beats and we want to put them into packs, or we want to put them into situations where they're available for people to license and to use. Because again, we are looking for those artists. We're all looking for the next wave of artists. We do have a distribution deal and all that other good stuff. So, you know, we're just really trying to see how we can put this music out for people to really kind of work with. And for people to work with us, we're trying to find new people to work with us and stuff like that. Peace, everybody that's joining the live. Swag, I see you. Richard, I see you. Get a tag in here. Gotta get your beat tag in this thing. So we don't even have a tag in there. We don't have a lot of stuff going on right now. Need to set up the intros and all that other good stuff. Lewis, what up?
Arkatech.
Arkatech Beatz.
Arkatech Beatz.
Arkatech Beatz.
Alright, that's gonna be our tag. Let's get this here. This one's called Almost Home, right? Name this joint Almost Home. Shout out to everybody that's joining into the live, man. How y'all weekend been so far? I was running around with one of my kids is sick. My daughter got sick, man. I don't know what happened. I don't know, might have been from the pool or something, but she dang sure ain't right. Alright, we're gonna copy this sequence. We're gonna name this one verse 2, and then we're gonna change up how this is being triggered. We're gonna cut it in half. Appreciate you, JD. We're gonna get the sound. It's D minor. Shout out to everybody that's just getting into the live. We starting late tonight, man. We late to the building tonight. We late to the building tonight, but it's okay. We late, but we here, right? That's what we're doing. We making sure we're showing up. So we're late, but we're gonna show up, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that we maintain the cadence of getting it done every night. Got to get something done, right, folks? Every night, got to get something done. For people who are new here, man, every night we get together, we cook up. We basically I'll go show people through the process of working the MPC XSE. And listen, today I was really trying to. I wanted to kind of go through the software. Well, I don't even want to say go through the software because I need to learn the software like everybody else. So the new MPC3 software is here, the desktop software, and I wanted to kind of put it on tonight and show, just kind of show it and just us work through it together and just kind of work through it at the same time so people could really realize, like, listen, we're learning this thing in real time. Because I didn't use the previous MPC softwares at all. I didn't use them. I just used the hardware straight up. I didn't use any of the desktop software. So, because it didn't synchronize and didn't play at the same time and that sort of thing. So, yeah, man. So I went to try it tonight, and listen, I like it, man. I really do. I like it for what it is. I just have to determine how I'm going to be able to stream it. You know what I mean? If I want to stream it on TikTok and stuff like that, I may have to go from a vertical to a horizontal screen so people could kind of see what's going on for real. So I got to just figure out how I want that to look. And then hopefully we'll get into that probably in the next few days. Rich, hold on one second. I'm just seeing your stuff on here. Yeah, man, just gotta enjoy the weekend before Monday starts. Nah, with the new software for the RP, we don't need with the new. Listen, with the new desktop software, it don't look like you need anything, man. It looks like it's gonna be pretty. In my opinion, it looks like it's gonna be pretty complete. You know, because you can use your plugins. It's definitely for music production. You're not gonna need anything else.
Arkatech Beatz.
Oh, let me add one more thing to it. We're gonna go to the verse. Nah, let's not do that. Let's go. Let's leave it at the hook.
Arkatech Beatz.
Got a little effects on here. Got little effects on this thing. Get this thing to sound nice, real nice and pretty on this thing.
Arkatech Beatz.
Arkatech Beatz.
Arkatech Beatz.
Blex, I appreciate you, brother.
Arkatech Beatz.
Rob, what up? Make sure y'all sharing the live. And then what we're gonna do now tonight is we're doing. That's a whole nother beat. So check this out, right? And this is part of, and this is what I stopped doing. Is when we were making beats every night, we were going from one sequence to the next, and I was going from one sequence to the next and putting 2 and 3 beats into one project. That's a no-no. Like, you know what I mean? Because now when I'm going back to the beats, I don't know which ones are good. I don't know which ones are so good or which ones are so-so and all this other kind of stuff. So, you know, just for the sake of keeping yourself organized, let's not do that. But the reason why I was doing it was just to kind of keep the live moving along. But now in retrospect, trying to go back to these beats, man, it's killing me. So, like, for example, I got this one here, right? And then we got this one in here too. And ain't nothing wrong with that. And that one is fine too. And I think there's another beat in here. Hold on a second. Oh no, that's the second part of the beat. Let's make sure. Yeah. That's the verse right there. So I need a name for that. So Chad, I need a name for that beat. The first beat we got a name for it is called Almost Home. The second one. So we're gonna need to do that. So let's work through getting these things cleaned up. Let's get them into song mode. Let's work through that. Y'all follow along with me while I'm putting them into song mode, because yeah, we gotta get this thing cleaned up. So this one is called Almost Home, right?
Arkatech Beatz.
So what we did is we did the first intro with the tag, right?
Arkatech Beatz.
Y'all is asking me, do I like to start with my drums? So y'all's asking me if I like to, do I prefer to always start with the drums? No. If you watch our lives, and again, there's 40 plus days worth of live streams on YouTube. If you want to check them out there, you can do that. Also, everything is streaming to Twitch and Kick at the same time. But if you go to those places and you watch, we typically start with our samples. I normally start off with my samples, tune in the samples to the speed that I want them to be, and then pitching them to the tempo that I want them to be. And then we normally go from there, and then we start to kind of build the beat from there. And the reason why I start from the samples is because if you kind of start with your drums, if you're not careful, you probably do all the same drums, because you're gonna like a tempo. Like some of us like certain tempos and certain speeds. And I know somebody was asking the other day and was saying, "Hey, you like that 80s something tempo?" And I'm like, "Nah, not really that I like the tempo. It's just that I noticed that the lives perform better at certain tempos or certain pacing. When I make really slow flow beats, it's like people are not really as interested in that." Because that's really kind of like a New York, like, underground type sound that's not really kind of like, it doesn't really appeal to a live stream audience, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So for people who are kind of going to be into that, that's why I'm going to be setting up the Patreon, so folks can really get into what we into, you know what I mean? And not necessarily, it's not such a live stream algorithmic type thing. So the folks that are rocking with it and really just want to learn how we build in all types of beats, slow, fast, because it's all types of beats. And if you've been here, you'll see we got R&B joints, we got some pop joints, we got this going. We got a whole lot of joints that we're making every night, and I'm just showing people and walking them through the process of it all. But share the live with people that might like that. Ambush Dynamite, that's different. Free Society, I appreciate you, man. We're trying to make it work. We're trying to get the channel to move. But of course, it can only go as far as the people push it. You know what I mean? The people have to share it and have to share it with people who are like-minded, who really want to be part of this kind of conversation and this type of movement. It's really about music production, but it's really about music business. It's about entrepreneurship, and it's really about personal development, motivation, inspiration. It's a combination of all of those things in one. Trying to build stuff up, trying to get people to learn, trying to get people to understand what's going on, trying to get people aware of what's happening in this business, and really giving people the tools to protect themselves and get better. That's the main thing. It's giving you the tools so you can get better. Showing you what I use day to day. Walking you through, our situations where we're talking about deals, or we're talking about different production deals, different things that we may have missed, right? So that you don't have to miss them. I missed them, so you don't have to miss them, right? So, hindsight is 20/20. So I'm able to kind of give you guys insight on the things that we did good, bad, or different, right? So let's get this beat. Let's get this beat kind of wrapped up. This one's gonna be almost home, right? So I already got everything sequenced. I got the hook with the tag. We're going into the verse. We're going into the other part of the second verse. Well, not second verse, but the second part of the verse. Excuse me. Which is got 4 and then 8 and then 4 bars. Back into the hook. 4 and then 8 bars. Then the hook, and it's over with. It's not really it's not going to be long. It's probably going to be top out. Maybe 2.5, 3 minutes tops. I'm going to export it. And I'm going to export it to a high MP3. I'm going to add an audio tail to it, so my effects will kind of give you just a little effects thing at the end, because I'm not fading out the beats. I'm just letting it kind of, stop, and then kind of it'll trail with the effects. All right. And then this beat is called Almost Home. MP3s. We're going to call Almost Home, and then we're going to name it by Arkatech Beatz. Always put your name of you as the producer in the title of your beats. And then what you also want to do is you want to put the BPMs, and this was 90 BPMs, 90 beats per minute. And this helps people to be able to loop up the beat if they need to. And then also we're going to give them the pitch and the key of the main sample, which is D minor, right? Now we're going to do it, and we're going to save it, and it's exporting now. We're waiting for it to export. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. Shout out to the people that are sending gifts. I really appreciate folks sending gifts. I know that we try to drop a lot of game. I try to drop a lot of value, and I like that people help to support the channel. It's very much appreciated. At the same time, let me tell you guys a joke. The joke is when you are receiving gifts, right, and likes in your lives, that is how platforms like TikTok and these guys determine the value of your live. This is how they determine if your live is really worth showing to more people, based on how people participate, engage, and actually gift and or like your live. So, although I don't want to be on here begging for stuff, I do want the live to grow, and the only way for them to do that is, for people to see y'all active participation. So, I appreciate that. Let's go.
Arkatech Beatz.
So that's good right there. That beat is good. Did the chat give me a name for the second beat? What's the name for the second beat? I need that. So chat, let's name that. Let's go. Oh, wait a minute. We did have a name for it. It's called Cold Nights. Okay, so I'm tripping. Okay, so let me save that. Let me save this project as Cold Nights. Resave this. See, the chat did give me a name for it, man. You know what I'm saying? What just happened? Okay. which is going to be Cold Nights verse. Well, maybe we don't do it that way. Maybe let's not do it that way. Let's get to the hook first. All right, that's the verse right there. So that's Cool Nights verse right here. Shout out to everybody that's joining the live and just watching me meticulously name these tracks and name these sequences just for us to keep the order in the game, right? I'm gonna let that ride. Hero, what up? All right, that's gonna be Cold Nights hook right here. And then we're going to copy this into the first one, which will be Cold Nights hook with the intro. Alright, and then we're going to do that. And then we're going to add our tag in here.
Arkatech.
Let's go.
Arkatech Beatz.
Arkatech Beatz.
Okay, so we got that tag in. This is G sharp. It's G sharp at 90. G sharp at 90. Okay. Let's go back in. Let's name this Cold Nights. This is 90 BPMs. No basketball tonight, right? Cold Nights BPM. G sharp. And we're going to add in. We're going to go to the New York lost tonight. Damn, how come nobody ain't say nothing? Damn, New York lost tonight. That's crazy. Damn. Shout out to the Knicks, man. Y'all tried, man. Let's get in here real quick. Let's go. Chad, I want to ask y'all a question. Should the verse go like this? Or should the verse go like this? Hero saying I can use both. Yeah, probably. Now the question is, which one will sound better? Because yes, we can use both, but which one will sound better? So is it the second one sounds more like a verse, which would be this one that's less movement. See? Now, see this is the difference here now, right? This is the difference between us making beats and the difference between us making records. It's two different things here, right? If I'm making beats, I go with the second one, right? Which is and because that's so busy, it's busy. And then what's going to happen with this is like this. This is going to ostracize the majority of rappers. Only the top tier guys is going to be able to deal with all of that back and forth going like that and be able to manage that. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that we have to really pay attention to with these things, is that the beat maker in me, right? The beat maker in me says, hey, I want it to move. I want it to do these things. I want the track to dance, right? I want the dance. I want people to understand how intricate my programming is. I want people to respect how I program my beats, right? That's what that's what we have to be careful of, is I want people to, just like the fact that I'm like technically savvy in the way that I put my track together and where I programmed it, versus saying, okay, how do I make this beat commercially viable, giving it enough room and enough space for the rapper to breathe. Like, these are the things that we have to pay attention to. These are the things that we have to think about, right? Because remember, we're laying the foundation of the song. I don't care what nobody else say about this rap music. I don't care what anybody say about music, period. Us as the producers, we lay the foundation of every record, period. Especially if you're going to hear the beat and then write. Now, if we're going to be in the studio together and we writing it, that's different. But if you hearing my beat first and then you writing, I'll lay the foundation down. All right? So these are the type of things that we have to make sure that we're paying attention to and making sure that we're doing stuff in the right type of way. Because at the end of the day, listen, man, we can make a whole bunch of cold beats that don't go nowhere, man. And don't get me wrong, I like that switch up, but it's like it doesn't leave any space for them to breathe. Now, in a perfect world, like Hero said, we might be able to combine the two, right? Which might go with this. You're saying maybe 4484. We gotta see. What I'm thinking is I'm gonna shorten this to I'm gonna make this verse part, second part of that verse, but not necessarily. I'm gonna leave it in the sequence, or in the program, or in the project rather. But I'm not going to put it as part of the sequence. but I will have the variation for something that if I do want to go back to it, it's there. All right. Hold on. I think I might have did something that I didn't want to do. Okay, that's exactly what I want to do. Okay, so that's half. This is the main. Let's get this other part in real quick. Split that in half. All right, now let's get this sequence going here. Three is the one. Okay, and we should be good. This be 1 3 2 5. 1 3 2 5. 3 2 5. Now let's try that now.
Arkatech Beatz.
Arkatech Beatz.
I'm gonna try something Rich is saying to try make it do the switch up before it goes back into the hook. Let's see how it sounds when we do that. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. Shout out to everybody that's liking the live. Chat, how did that sound? By putting that slight break into the verse. So Free Society Beats is asking, am I doing 16 bar verses or eight bar hooks? The song format today, unfortunately, is 12 bar verses and 8 bar hooks. So unfortunately, we're at a 12 bar scenario. We haven't really been doing 16 bars in songs now, maybe for the past decade. Um, so if you go back and you listen to a lot of these guys' songs, they're 12 bars. They're no longer 16. 16's been gone for a long time now, man. It's like, we're showing our age when we talk about 16 bars, but nobody's really doing that anymore. But always a good question to ask, man. I think that it like if you listen to today's music, 16 bars to get back to the hook is almost too damn long. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like we remember what we're dealing with. So Lamar, welcome to the live, my brother. So listen, how we working on it like this? It's like when you're doing these things, like doing a 16 bar verse at this point in this age in this time, man. It's like, you know it's too long. The attention deficit is just too long. Folks can't make it. They just can't make it. It's a terrible thing. You know what I mean? Like folks is literally like falling asleep on your joint. Like they just can't handle it. You know what I mean? So ultimately, what we're doing is we're doing a what we're doing right now is we're doing a 8 and then a 4. But what I don't know if I like it, I don't like that. I think that when the 4 starts triggering, I think that it's too jarring. So you guys listen to it. You guys tell me what you think. My opinion is that it's too jarring and that it kind of disrupts the flow of the track. But this is what the verse is sounding like right now. So count down to 8 bars. Remember, this is 79 BPMs, and then we're going to the 4 bars right after that. Let's go. Go back into the hook right now. Thoughts in the chat. Thoughts. How did that 12 bar sound going back into the hook? How did that sound? Let's give me the feedback. Let's see who's paying attention. Where's the songwriters at? Who's paying attention on the 12 bars? Did it work for you? Use a change up for the hook. Interesting. Yeah, and it depends on the lyrics. So in my brain, and this is my brain. Should it remove the drum? Potentially. Yeah, the change up. So the change up. There you go. Free Society Beats is saying it don't sound like it's doing it, and I agree with him on that. I feel like it disrupts the flow of the music. I'm gonna pull it out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna export this, and we're gonna move on because it start taking too long, and then you be like, man, why is it taking so long? And then you start losing the interest in the record. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna export it. I'm gonna listen to it in the AM with nice, cool, fresh airs. Jump into German and listen to it and see how that sounds. Real Dean, what up? Listen, shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. Shout out to everybody that's sharing the live. Shout out to everybody that's liking the live. Right now, we have almost 15,000 likes. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. Listen, like I said, to help out this algorithm, make sure y'all hitting the like button. To make sure y'all hitting to make sure to help out the algorithm to get to more folks. Make sure y'all hitting them roses or whatever it is that y'all do. Because again, it's all about the algorithm. Trying to get these folks to push the live the way they need to push the live. Because we need more heads to kind of join this movement. Because this movement is really the takeover of music. Now we're looking at, we're about to get artists and producers armed with information. All right, so what I got here, I got Cold Nights. We did the other beat. I think those are we're pretty much good there. And then what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna browse, and I'm gonna look for another beat that we did or didn't do. It's called the Station Locomotive. We did this one. We did Cooking Out. We did that. We did Born Ready. Tuesday Wins. We did Silent Ops. We did Payback. I don't think we did this one. Shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. I appreciate y'all, man. We didn't do this beat, dog. Yo, we didn't fix this. Oh my God. right, we gotta fix this. We gotta fix this, and we gotta fix it now. Like, we gotta fix it. Like, real talk, we gotta fix it. I'm really shocked at myself that this is not ready for out to get put out. Like, that's just, it's insane to me. But I think we did this in a very, very early live. And we just didn't get around to it. Like, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Like, I'm tripping. Zach, what's going on, brother? Where you been, man? So listen. First, I gotta name these sequences because you hear that there's a bit much going on, right? These are 8-bar loops. So because it's 8-bar loops, it gives us a lot to work with, right? So we have certain parts where it's broken up into 4 bars. Then we have other parts where it goes into that crescendo with strings and horns at the end. That's kind of showing us that it's time to transition into the next part. And then, of course, we got the whole vocal part, which is definitely the hook, right? So we gotta definitely make sure that that is standing out. We may have to put some additional instrumentation on that to make sure that that thing is really pronounced and is ready to take somebody's head off, right? Pause. So, let's get to it. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay. Listen. When you got a good, when you got a good one, it feels good. Don't get me wrong. Like when you know that you got you got something here that's jumping, that feels good. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that was in the live that actually watched us put that together. Right? I'm not sure which live that was, which date it was, but it probably was in the first week or so, give or take. You know, but Rude boy thing, right? That's what we are doing this on tonight. Let's go. So look, we're gonna put the hook this like this, right? Boom. So this is gonna be our hook. I have to name it. And then oh yeah, Zach was there. Yeah, he was there when we did that. Yeah, I know, man. Listen, if it's in the headphones, it's jumping. Once you put it on the speaker, that joint gonna be rattling, right? So we got the hook going here.
Arkatech Beatz.
Arkatech Beatz.
It's a lot longer than it needs to be, but anyway. Says I have a couple of questions. Drew is asking, do you need a physical beat maker or can you just use software? The way things are right now, you can just use software. You don't have to. The MPC got the MPC3 software beta out. You don't need any hardware. You can go straight software if you want. I'm just in this hardware bag right now, but we will be going between software and hardware as we move forward on there. They did fix it, so now when you mute stuff, it stays muted. So it's not too bad, but you still need to edit, man. Like I'm still used to editing each of my sequences, no matter what platform I was in. If I was in Serato, I'd have to edit the individual sequences before we put them into song mode, and it's the same thing I used to do for FL. I used to sequence my I used to pull out what I didn't want there. Sometimes you can rely on automation, but I think that made it harder. It took longer. What's the other question somebody's asking? mid 2000s. Yeah, man. Says, how do you play your computer audio on the TikTok live? So, I think it really depends on your interface, right? But there is also a plugin that I have with my Serato, right? So what happens is I can change it from going to my audio interface, but I can turn it to like a virtual audio, which basically means that the computer will read the audio coming from that particular application. So when I set it to that, then my my Streamlabs can hear, or can replay the music for everybody to hear. So that's how it works pretty good there. So let's get into this hook here, right? Zach is asking me, how do I feel about big names selling their catalog? I really don't feel any way about it, to be honest with you, man. When you sell your catalog, man, it's really supposed to be a situation where, you know, you're selling your catalog to invest in something else. You know what I mean? It really depends on how old you are, how big your catalog is. You know, some people say, hey, I got more days. You know, I got less days ahead of me than in front of me. So let me get my money now. You know, I want to basically get my money now so I can do what I want to do now. So, you know, if you don't have kids, man, then, you know, I think it's a little bit different when people want to sell their catalog. You know, for me personally, not selling the catalog would be the only reason why I wouldn't sell the catalog is because I would want my children to benefit from it. But if my children can't benefit from it, then, you know, we sell it. Or if there's maybe a major play. If somebody has a major play, like say, for example, you were early into crypto and you had a whole bunch of capital and you were able to buy a whole bunch of Bitcoin in the beginning, not financial advice, you'd have won. But sometimes you need the capital to be able to invest in those things, you know what I mean? Or if you're in certain circles, say for example, you're working with a bunch of guys who are like heavy into AI, and they know where it's gonna go, and they've showed you, they developed the stuff, they know what they're gonna do with the music, and you say, hey, sell your catalog, invest in the back end of AI, you know, or AI music, because that's what I think guys are doing. I think guys are taking their money and reinvesting it back in some technology firms. They're not telling you what they're doing, man. But there's a reason why they're buying and selling those things. Listen, man, whales make it hard for the little guy, but the whales also make it so that the little guy can eat too, because you need liquidity, right? Zach, I thought this was a music production live stream, man, not a crypto live stream, man. All right, I think there's a few things that we want to do here, folks. where's the snare at? Oh, there it goes. So what's going on here? See, this track is not even labeled right, man. We're gonna try to play around with the snare a little bit, and trying to get it to build up on the track. Then I'm gonna also add in some crashes, reverse cymbal to kind of right crash at the beginning, 3 crashes. We want to try to make this hook big as pause. Anyhow, let's go, man. Let's add that in. Rob, to answer your question, yes. Yes. Emphatically, yes. Yes. Rob is asking, does Splice have these type of urban style samples? Yes. Emphatically, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I can keep saying yes, right? More yes. More yeses. But between that, Tracklib, you know what I mean? There are a lot of guys out here that are making these type of styles of music, man. There's a lot of royalty-free sample stuff out there, right? So what we did now is we see what we did. We doubled up that snare, right? Tripled it up. All right. So now. All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna add another hat to this. Okay, so now what we're gonna do.
Arkatech.
add we add that tambourine to it. Let's make sure nothing on this track here. Listen. This track, yo, Zach, we didn't even finish the track, bro. We just laid down the idea. We ain't finish it. Like, I'm gonna finish it tonight. But listen, I'm gonna finish it tonight. But we just laid it down the foundation. You know what I mean? So I just want everybody to just pay attention to what I'm doing to get this. I'm gonna make this joint bust your speaker. Pause. I'm telling you, when we finish tonight, your speaker is gonna be exploded. It's gonna be smoking, catching fire in your living room. You're gonna have to throw it out the window when I'm done. I'm telling you. Listen, man. This record should have been out. Like, real talk. I know Mike probably mad as hell. Like, this record should have been out. You're like, yo, Jug, why you holding on to these records, man? Like, these got to go out. Your favorite rappers need them. Your favorite rappers need them, man. Hip hop is in disarray right now, man. Like, your favorite rappers need some heat, man, so that they can start rapping again. They ain't gonna rap without the inspiration, man. Let's go. Let's get this sample to get bigger. The sample's not big enough right now. So I got a open hat. We need to make sure that it sounds louder. I'm gonna normalize it. Oh yeah, Mike got the heat too, man. You know, we just trying to get this thing together. We're gonna do it every 8, I think. Now we're gonna do one more. We're gonna call this gonna be the crash. Yo, who's in the live, man? Who's sharing the live, man? We got 21,000 likes, man. Let's make sure we get some more likes on this right here. Let's go, man. Let's share the live. Let's go. Let's share the live. That's a crash right there, but it's trash, right? That's a trash crash. Sometimes in our lives, we have trash sounds. And when a sound is trash, don't be afraid to get rid of it. It just doesn't work. If it doesn't work, it just doesn't work, right? So let's go back to our splice. Let's go into all samples. And then let's search for a crash. Because I know I got one, right? And this is the beauty of splice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to make sure that you have the plan that you're going to be able to get as much samples as possible, and then you download them, you put them to your library. You don't know when you're going to need them. I'm gonna need that. I might use. Hold on a second. Definitely gonna need that one. That might be the best one right there. Okay. Listen, if you can get an MPC, whether it be the Live 2, listen, they have a lot of options, right? You got the Live 2, you got the XX, and remember, you can buy them from these places, either like open box, certified pre-owned, refurbed, so that you don't pay as much, right? So at least you get a little bit of a warranty, those type of things. So, and then also, if you go to places like, if you go on our website, we got the list of stuff that you can buy. If you click those links, remember, you can buy that stuff and put them on payment plans without any credit check, right, through Zounds. So just go to the website, go to where we have a studio gear list. It's on the main page. You can just click on that, and man, there's no reason to wait. If you're working right now, man, put that joint on, or what you call it, man, on the payment plan, man. Let's go and get it. Let's get this crash down. Let's go. Now I might have to tune it down one. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. Listen, this is only the hook. We ain't do the verse yet, man. Come on, you tripping. All right, we gotta add some reverb to this. First, we add a parametric EQ to this. Right, we got a para EQ. We're gonna use one preset in here. It's called thicken. Pause. But if you notice, what it does is it adds a little bit more, mid and low into my snare. And then I'm gonna go back. And then we're gonna go back, and then we're gonna add some reverb to that. Listen, Hero, man. Listen. You know what happened, bro? When people talk about my sample selection comes from me realizing, like, I used to make the common mistake that a lot of producers make, thinking that you're gonna find a weak sound and EQ it to something phenomenal. We're gonna EQ the crap out of it. We're gonna turn up the midline. We're gonna do this. We're gonna change this. You know, we're gonna this kilohertz. This da da da. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. It's the wrong sound, bro. It's the wrong sound. If you got to do all of that, it's the wrong sound to begin with. It shouldn't require that much changing and trying to get it to sound the way we need it to sound. So once I kind of understood, once I realized that, listen, I'm choosing the wrong sound. You got to search for the sounds that sound the best before you have to EQ. EQ and all that stuff is it's to kind of get it to a sweeter spot. But you can't EQ a bad sound to make it sound like you can't get it to where it needs to be, or it takes so much work to get it to where it needs to be when you're supposed to be curating a whole bunch of sounds. So let's just take that into consideration when we're looking, man. Like these are things that are going to save you a ton of time, you know. And eventually, I'm going to take this kit and I'm going to make it available to the Patreon members. I'm going to take this kit and a few other joints. I'm going to make them available to folks. I'm giving all the sauce away, man. Like, I ain't going to hold y'all. I'm giving the sauce away because, remember, I want folks to make it in the game. I want people to succeed. We're going to give all the sauce out. You know what I mean? I'm not the gatekeeper, man. I'm here to make it go. You can use those emulators as well, but you still got to start off with the right sound. Emulator only gonna go but so far. And the real thing about it is that, you know, we don't really need to go through emulation because there's plenty of sample kits and sample packs out there that have those sounds. Like there are guys that have those samples from that era, right? Like one person that stands out on the Serato kit side would be DJ Jazzy Jeff. He has a dope kit, and those are all SP1200 sounds. You can hear it. You know what I'm saying? And you can take those and you can put them in your MPC and we can really make it knock. So let's go. I'm gonna check those out, my bro. Coach J, what up? Right here. These are my samples. We're gonna name that for my sample. Right there. So name that track for my samples. Secret chord progression. I don't have one, bro. That's another one. are y'all listening to this? Do y'all hear this? 50 Cent, man. Yo, 50 Cent. Like, who asked me about an artist that I wanted to work with? 50 Cent. I don't know why I never said 50 Cent. Like, why didn't I ever say 50 Cent, man? Like, for real, like, I would, man. Like, that's a guy I want to work with, too, 50 Cent. But I want the other 50 Cent. I don't want the smooth talk to the ladies type 50 Cent. I want the, I'll whoop your head, boy, 50 Cent. I want him to knock you in your head. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I want the, punch you in your mouth, 50 Cent. I want that one on the track. I don't want the ladies 50 Cent on that one. I want the 50 Cent cut you down with the switch. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, man. I just come from an aggressive era. I'm sorry. That's just how I'm made up. That's how I am, I'm a good guy, but I'm not a nice guy, right? So let's go, right? That mini man era. There you go. Kaz, what up, man? Sample, we got to make sure this sample is loud as possible. We're going to normalize that. All right, and now we're going to get these effects on this. All right. Got to get this parametric EQ on this thing. Listen, we got almost 25,000 likes on the live tonight. Listen, I really appreciate that, man. I appreciate y'all hitting the like button, making this thing go. I appreciate y'all sending the gifts because, again, that helps the algorithm, man. That's what TikTok wants. TikTok wants to see more likes. He wants to see people giving gifts. If it's doing that, then people is going to push out. It's going to push out the live. And listen, a live like this, y'all can all agree that hip hop need it, music industry need it, independent artists, musicians, producers, they need it. They need to learn. They need to be able to ask questions. They need to be able to, get some game, some insight on everything. And for those who've been in there every night, I talk about everything. I talk about music publishing, production agreements. I'm talking about pixels, social media marketing, promotion. I'm talking about networking, reading the room, personal development, you name it. The only thing that we haven't talked about yet is health and fitness, and I'm going to get into that, as soon as I get past a few of these little things that we're going to be dealing with. Let's go. Yeah, Zach, I peeped that. I got to get back right. Let me tell you, man, like, I ain't gonna hold you, man. When my mom's passed in 2018, it was like she had a sudden heart attack. I wouldn't even say sudden, but it was like she had a heart attack, and then 12 hours later she was out of here, right? And then my oldest sister passed in 2020, and my father passed in 2022, and then my other sister just passed at the beginning of this year. And it's like, what people don't talk about is they don't talk about how that grief really gives you this low grade stress, and then you find different ways to compensate through it. Some people may try to work their way through it. Some people may try to, drink their way through it. For me, we just eating a little bit too much of that restaurant food. I'm not gonna hold you. That's what it really, But gotta take care of your health. Health is wealth. Mentally gotta get back in the game. It's just what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? But for those who are going through things that are similar, you're not alone. Keep moving. Keep pushing. We're gonna get back. It's that water that I don't like, Zach. I hate that water, bro. Telling you. All right, so now what we got to do here is this now, right? Okay. So, this is the first part of the verse. All right. If you notice, it repeats on the fourth bar. All right. It's going to repeat again. 3, 2, back again, right? So now I don't really need this to go for 8 bars. I need it to go from this into this. So I needed to do that. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be verse part 2, which is fine. And then I'm going to do this one. This is going to be verse part 1. This is verse part 1, right? That's how we're going to do it. And now we're going to take this from 8 bars. We're going to split it down into 4 because we don't need it to be more than 4. So we need this 4 to start it off, and then the other 8 to end it off to give us a total of 12. Now, there are some elements that are not in these verses that are in the hook, right? So I need to get the crashes back in. I need to get the reverse cymbal back in. I might need to get some of the snare triple ups and those things back in. So it all kind of depends on how we're trying to put this together in this meat and potato kind of way, right? Let's go like this, right? Let's make sure we're on the right track. Where's the hook at? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 in the verses, and then when we get to the hook, we'll pick it up. All right. So just to kind of give us a little bit of differentiation in this, right? Let's go. Try it again. next sequence, same thing again. Right? I don't think I'm gonna need that, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Like, I don't think I'm gonna need that sequence. This is like a verse switch, but I really don't think I'm gonna need it. You know what I mean? That's if I'm like really trying to get creative, but I don't think I'm gonna need that. But let's see how it goes, how it plays out. Zach is like, keep it. I feel you, brother. And this is gonna be the open hat, I think. Yep. Okay, so let's name this correctly, because this is not right the way it is. Yeah, you gotta name your tracks, man. It makes your life easier, so that you can like navigate through this thing. Cause remember, I got 4 different sequences doing 5 different things, so we want to make sure that everything is where it needs to be. 16 level that. Let's go. That one. Let's go. I don't know what happens now. Sounds like it's too loud. Alright, going to the next one. So we got that going. Alright, now I don't need to crash on this one. I need a reverse crash. So this is gonna be reverse. Yo, shout out to everybody that's sharing the live, man. We're building this track. We're building it up.
Beats.
So now let's go. So let's go to, it's gonna be this one. Shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. I got it now. good, y'all. I think we might be good. Hold on. Okay, so now we got the hook here. India, what up? This needs to be brought out. I'm gonna leave that where it is, and then I'm gonna bring up the velocity. I think that's what's happening. This because it's coming in too soft. Pause. Let's get this right. This is the piano bass, and we put these sounds in it to kind of make the low end really do something that it needs to do. We want these. We want to drive the bass of this thing. What would Q-Tip do? Q-Tip would add a mother something string in this thing on the hook to make it go crazy. Let's go. Let's go, people. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to make it do what it do tonight. Y'all, listen, if it's y'all first time here, man, make sure y'all liking the live, sharing the live, man. Every night we get together, we cook up, we show people what we're doing with these tracks. This is Platinum Producers, Arkatech Beatz. I'm your main man, Juggernaut. Nothing can stop the Juggernaut. That's why I got that name. Once I start moving to do something, y'all can't stop me. If you don't give it to me, I'm going to take it. That's how we used to move, you know what I mean? I don't take anything from anybody anymore. I'm evolved. I'm an evolved person. I'm no longer like that, right? So listen, I'm going to add these strings in here. let's get it not to do. It's trembling a little bit more than I wanted to. So we get the vibrato to come down a little bit. Get this in real quick. So he says, how do you access the plugins in the latest update? If we're in the MPC, we're going to do new track, and then we're going to select plugin. And then once we select the plugin, we can then click on this thing here, and you select your plugins. And they're all there. So they're there. You just have to access them. So it's really a great addition to this thing. Like, if you ask me, like the MPC, it needed to be able to use plugins and third-party plugins. Like, it needed that, you know? And being able to use different VSTs is just a godsend. So, shout out to them for being smart enough to add that in. Hey Rob, I've used it. I actually added in, like, I had a halftime plugin. Shout out to them. And I put that in. I used it on the desktop the other day, and I was sending it to Mike. And Mike, because Mike is a large, he uses halftime a lot when he wasn't doing machine. And then I showed him that we could use it in the MPC, and he was happy for that. get this tremolo to go a little bit slower. And actually, sometimes what we could do too, Zach, is because I'm affecting it, it will kind of give the impression that it's not trembling as fast as it is, or it's not vibrating as fast. So it's just a little bit of tricks that we got to let it play with it a little bit. There we go. Right about there. And remember, we don't really need much of the string because we got everything changes here, right? So we have the guitar changes, the bass line changes, the vocals on it change, the vocals in the hook. So we're just adding the string just kind of on some eye candy stuff, on some ear candy stuff. We really don't need it, you know, per se, because there's enough changes going along to give us a really good hook. Like we're not really worried about, you know, how it's sounding. What time is it now? Damn, it's after 12 already. All right, so boom. I think we're good. I think we're good. I'm going to do one more thing here with this hook. Let me save this beat. Gotta save it. I ain't save it. In the ghetto. We call it In the Ghetto. Ghetto. So I don't need this sequence. I'm going to copy the sequence into sequence number 5. In the ghetto word it is. In the ghetto, Rick James, right? I need to break this down to half. I don't need that. Let's do this. I don't need to do that. Let's make this the hook intro and be done with it. I guess the question is, how do we start off this record now? How do we set it off, right? Like, how do we get it to go from the beginning? Let me see. What would be a compelling way to get this thing to start? before I try that. Let's try something. Let me see something. Okay. I am tripping. Okay. I didn't catch that. Okay. I got it now, though. Let's play a little mute game here. Let's see if we can get this thing to do what we want it to do. So I'm gonna mute the hats and stuff. Kick. See, the issue is this. The issue is this, right? If I start this, like 4 bars feels too short, and then it needs to go right into, in my opinion, needs to go right into the hook. But if we do that, then it makes it too long before we get back to the verse. So we're almost 16 bars in before the verse actually starts. And I don't think we want to do that long. Now, I don't want to just jump off into the beat like this. Or maybe I do. Maybe I just do. I guess I'm going to do it that way. Yeah, I'm going to do it that way.
Arkatech.
All right, that's what it is. We going simple. I need to bring this kick down. It's overloaded my joint. The kick is definitely loud as hell.
Arkatech Beatz.
All right, we got it. So now, this is called In the Ghetto. Ghetto. In the ghetto. And yo, shout out to everybody that rock with me through putting this whole thing together, because it did take some time, but we had to get it right. Because if we don't get it right, yo, the beat ain't gonna go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna go. It's like you can put a lot of work into it, but it's not gonna go because it's just kind of missing that little feng shui. You know what I mean? Gotta get it right. So, how we doing this now is we setting it up in song mode. We're going from the hook with the intro. We're going into the first 4 bars of the verse. Then we're going to the 8 bar of the verse where it transitions into the hook. Same thing, first bar, first verse, first part of the verse, second part of the verse, hook. Then we're going to add in the first part of the verse, and then the second part of the verse, and I think we should be done. Randy, we're here every night, man. I try to get here about 9 o'clock. I tried to get 9 o'clock tonight. I ain't get until about 10:30. Just put the notifications on so that when I do go live, just know it'll be between 9 and 10 o'clock for most part. You know, I got to be taking care of the home life before I jump on. So a lot of times that keeps me from like really, you know, keeping that type of schedule, because, you know, I got to make sure my kids is down and all the other good stuff. You know what I mean? But thanks y'all for being patient with it. We rocking with it. Yeah, man, we got to get us NPC live. We got to keep it running and rocking. Make sure that we're sharing the live. Make sure that we're liking the live. Like I said, the algorithm likes when the live is liked. The algorithm likes when people are commenting. The algorithm likes when people are liking the live, sharing the live. The algorithm likes when people are sharing GIFs. And that's how we kind of broaden our audience and get more people to find out what we're doing, because we're trying to help the culture move forward, right? So now, there's 2 other things I got to do. This tempo is 80. And let me get this BPMs. Let me get this key. This D minor, right? So let me put that in the ghetto. It's 80 BPMs. We want to just make sure we have that number. So when we name our MP3, we got it. And then we're at a D minor. D minus. Y'all ready? Let's go. Let's listen to the song from song mode, and then while I export it, we'll be answering some more questions before we, you know, wrap up the live. Let's go. Ready?
Arkatech Beatz.
That wasn't my intention. That wasn't my intention, but it's kind of fly. Hold on. Everybody's doing it. But listen. Yeah, who here is a Max B fan, man? If you're a Max B fan, yo, hit it in the chat that you're a Max B fan, and if you are definitely a fan of the Arkatech Beatz produced Max B, why you do that? Please hit me in the chat so that y'all know, so that I know that these folks know my pedigree and know what it is. There's something here that I think I'm gonna have to do that's similar to why you do that to make this hook go a little bit better. So let me see here. Okay. Every 8, yeah. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. It's too busy. All right, was worth a try. Let's listen to it again.
Arkatech Beatz.
Look, we did the whole beat in the live, bro. Something here. There's also something here that's happening that y'all might not be aware of. Gotta get these snares right, man. Reverb, parametric EQ. Bro, you gotta make this tight beat with a 16 bar verse and an 8 bar hook. Rob. Rob. I'm gonna tell you a joke. And the joke is, I feel you, bro. I really do, bro. I feel like it needs to go 16. That's what my hip hop chest feels, that it should be 16. But my business brain says 12 is where it needs to stay. But in my hip hop bag and my hip hop heart, it should be 16. And the fact of the matter is, it's kind of constructed that way. Like, it can be constructed that way pretty easily by just kind of doubling up the first half of the first bar, first part of the sequence. Let me mull on it. I'm not adverse to that type of criticism. So listen, Rob, you still in with me? Cause I'm gonna try something. To your point, I'm gonna do it as a 16, right? And you tell me if it's too long to get back to the hook.
Arkatech Beatz.
vibe, man. So, damn, Rob, you gonna make me break the rule, man. That's the rule. The rule is not to go back to 16 bars. Like, we're not supposed to do that. Like, not anymore. You know what I'm saying? But I will not lie. It feels good. I will not lie. It does feel good. It feels real good. Yo, it feels good, bro. I mean, and it doesn't feel that long because it might be because of the tempo. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, again, you know, just damn, like 16 to me just feels like, what am I doing? But at the end of the day, like, I feel you to a degree. It feels like I feel like I'm being robbed a little bit in that 4 bars. So, sheesh, we gotta make a decision. And we gotta make one soon, right? Now, somebody was asking about the drop. Like, you know, we dropped some of the drums in the beginning, but that was by accident. But there's something to that. Yep. Randy was saying, well, take out the drums for the 2 bars might help the breakup. It might. So let's visit it, right? Try something. I'm gonna try something. Try this one, right? Asking what up? All right.
Arkatech Beatz. Damn. Okay. Y'all done
me breaking the rules, man. Y'all breaking the rules. This is not the rules. The rules is 12 bars. There's no more rappers for 16 bars. Where are you guys coming from? Which rapper is rapping for 16 bars outside of maybe LL Cool J? Like who's doing that right now? Like you guys are making me break. You know what I'm saying? So, it's one of these things. Ask you what up, man. Listen, so let's listen to it again before we export it. There is a part here where we go from the verse here to the switch up. It sounds like something is overloading. It's very strange. Okay. Okay, I think we should be good. Free Society Beats is saying in YouTube, he's saying Max B still got 16 bars for sure. Banks, yeah. Conway Benny, yeah. I mean, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man. We trying to listen. We love our underground, but we trying to, you need that long college money, man, and the college money is gonna come from radio singles. You know? Share the live, man. Share the live. Let's go.
Arkatech Beatz.
I ain't gonna hold you. When we come from that big hook and we take out the drum, it's like you gotta listen to the verse. Like the verse has to come in like really mean. So shout out to y'all for this kind of pointing that out. Like, yo, make it drop a little bit. Shout out to y'all.
Arkatech Beatz.
the second verse. It just needs to do it. It doesn't need to do it twice. Just need to do it that one time, and we should be good. Miriam's asking, how do I have the sound going into TikTok? I'm going through an interface. My mic is connected to the MPC, and then we run it into the interface, and we're using Streamlabs. Yeah, man, we trying to make it work, Ashka, man. If people, as long as people are learning from it, like, yo, I would ask folks, what's really the takeaways from tonight? You know what I mean? Because we've been on now for 2 hours and 30 minutes, and we've been working on some beats that we started to cook up in the previous session. This is an old beat. This beat is probably a month old. Real talk, right? This is probably a month old, and we had it in the system. Excuse me, and we never completed it. Right, we had all of the sections, but we didn't really add that sauce to it to get it over the hump, right? Because now we got it moving, we got drum fills, we got crashes, we got transitions. So now we've made it complete. So now it's ready to go out. Before it wasn't ready to go out. It was good to kind of play, good to kind of play in terms of people listening and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But we gotta make sure that we can do something bigger and better. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that likes the live, man. We had 35,000 likes on TikTok, man. That's crazy. Flamingo, what up? So listen, how we compensate for this bass player is that we only make it 2 verses. So it's 2 verses is enough to kind of make it do what it got to do. But let me be honest with you, right? When we're building a beat for the beat packs, right? We can have it do what it's doing, right? Because what the engineer can go in and do is, because we've given him the BPMs and we've given him the pitch and all of that good stuff, like, he can always remove a section of it to make it back to 12. It gives the artist that option to take it off or to add it. So, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not a deal breaker, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? What we're trying to do is we're trying to lay down the foundation of a record, and then what happens is the artists have to give their input, and then we have to come back, and then we have to confer with the artist to make sure that we're making the best decisions to get it to commercial viability. So it's just something that we have to kind of play around with. But to the point of some of the people in the chat, shout out to Rob. It just felt better to have it at 16, and I'm not sure why. It could be because of the type of hip hop that it is, because it kind of felt like it's a storytelling. It kind of felt like it was a big record. So, the 16 might make sense, but the way that we make the 16 make sense is by making changes within the beat so that there's enough to kind of keep the attention of the listener. So let's listen to it from the top, and feedback in the chat. Make sure that we're liking the live. Make sure that we're sharing the live. Listen, I'm gonna say, hey, can we get it to 50,000 likes? I mean, man, we should try. You know what I mean? And then everybody, hit the like button at the same time. Send them roses, whatever y'all sending. Let's get it.
Arkatech Beatz.
I think we got it, y'all. I think we got it. Now, I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx, New York, but I am currently in Atlanta, man. I am currently in Atlanta, man. A 80 BPMs, D minor. We're going to bounce this out. But I am from New York. Bronx raised, Harlem born. Son of immigrant Jamaican parents. Boy. We call this beat In the Ghetto. We went hard tonight, y'all. We went hard. We really did our thing tonight, man. We did a bunch of joints. Cleaned up a bunch of tracks. Got a bunch of joints finished. Answered a ton of questions. Y'all got any more questions before we jump off the live? We've been live now for 2 hours and 38 minutes. It is 1 a.m. on a Saturday. Late as heck. But, you know, we're here. So any music business related questions, how you want to get started in this thing, any artist related questions, releasing your music questions, registering your song questions, you know what I'm saying? Now is the time to ask, and I'm ready to answer. You can ask me anything, and I will answer that. Everybody that, you know, rocks with me knows that I answer the questions, and then I give them real life examples of what I may have gone through. And if I don't know, I can be sure to, you know, get some resources, figure it out, and bring back the information. But shout out to everybody that's in the live. Shout out to everybody that shared the live. Shout out to everybody that liked the live. Shout out to people that gave the gifts. All that good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, you've been using the arranger to do your song mode? I know that's probably was tedious as hell, bro. Well, you say starting out the best platform to put your beats on in terms of discovery? Or in terms of like, what are we talking about? Now, are we selling beats or are we trying to be, trying to have be an artist with the beats? You know what I mean? Like, you know, if we're selling beats, the best platform to put your beats on, honestly, is going to be YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Now, people use BeatStars. Remember what BeatStars is probably more primarily for. BeatStars is to give you. BeatStars is for us to have what we would call the payment and delivery systems built in, right? Because if you're working with say for example, if you're doing your own website, if you're doing your own website like how we do it on Shopify, pardon me, because we do use Shopify to sell our music. You have to set up your products. You have to set up your delivery system, meaning you have to basically say, okay, once you set up your product, like this is the track, what do you want to sell with this track? So it's going to be digital files. So we have to put a plugin, which we call like digital downloads or digital download delivery. I forget the name of the plugin offhand. You would add your files to that, your waves, your MP3s, whatever documentation, licensing to that. And then Shopify has a payment portal. So it gives people the ability to pay with Shop Pay, credit cards, PayPal, whatever. So they can pay and then the files get delivered. So that's the same thing when you're dealing with BeatStars. BeatStars have created the payment portals and have created the delivery systems. And that's what a lot of producers are looking for, because they're not programmers. They don't want to sit around trying to create websites with different applications and selling portals. Because if you've been around as long as I've been around, we were using like WordPress and this and that and the third. We were using all the stuff prior to BeatStars, and you had to kind of you know create your own delivery systems, the ways that you collect your money, and so forth and so on. So the best platform to sell your beats right now, as a new person starting out, probably would be BeatStars. Um, but remember what BeatStars is. Its delivery system is not really made to promote your music. And of course, you can pay there to promote your music, but the majority of people that's on BeatStars are going to be other producers. So you still have to find a way to promote your music outside of the platform and then drive people back to the platform to make the purchase. Yeah, WordPress, man. Woo. Remember, WordPress was a killer. So now I use Shopify at this point, because the one thing, no knock to BeatStars, but I think it's very important for you to have your own website. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to send your customers into into a place where you have to compete for attention. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to do that. You want to send them to where your home is, and you want to make sure that you have a robust enough website, to keep people engaged. So we want to use good images. We want to make sure you have good information, FAQs, in some cases testimonials if you need them. Just kind of depends. Things for social proof. You need all of those type of things in order to make sure that you can have successful conversions. How long have I been making music? Since the 90s. Since the 90s, I've been making music, bro. To put it in perspective, I've been making our first commercial placement is Big Pun's Capital Punishment, and that is April 28th, 1998. So you could do the math from there. That is our first record placed ever. Then we went on from there to do some duck down music stuff with like Boot Camp Click. And then we went from there to Raekwon, and from Raekwon to Nas. Oh, no. From Raekwon to Prodigy, Mobb Deep, and Prodigy to Nas. And then, who else from there? After Nas, and then we did some Killer Army stuff. Shout out to them. Went back and we did got unreleased Dead Prez. I ain't tell y'all about that. Unreleased Memphis Bleak. I ain't tell y'all about that. Favorite project that we done with an artist? I think the favorite would have to be Raekwon's Immobilarity. I think that was probably the favorite, because I was able to, we worked with him for months, and then I was able to work real close with Ray, and then work real close with Power. Shout out to him. And then I was able to kind of work with those guys on that album while they were doing the movie for Black and White. If you guys remember that movie with Allen Houston and with Robert Downey Jr., you know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson and all those guys in that movie. So I was able to work on that movie, work directly with the director. So, working with Raekwon during that period. And they also did the Wu-Tang game. So at the same time, I was able to kind of get an insight to the Activision side, like the A&R side, the business side, the movie side. So that was probably the best project, because it had so many moving parts. And then it was my first time coming to Atlanta, my first time going to Cali, and it was all with them, So shout out to those guys. an air horn going, right?
Arkatech Beatz.
Gotta love it, in the ghetto. Shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. We had 36,000. Talk about how easy or difficult it is to work with an A&R. So listen, remember, in our case, and I have to speak for, for my partner, Mike Trauma D, I was working in the private sector. I had always I started the studio in the Bronx. And then as I upgraded my equipment, Mike is my cousin, my younger cousin. I'm 3 years older than him. And I would give him, equipment that I was, that once I upgraded, I would give him the other equipment. And I had already finished school. I had, got my degree in business. And then Mike went to school for Institute of Audio Research first before he wound up going back and getting his business degree as well. But once he finished his Institute for Audio Research engineering certificate, he got a internship at Loud Records. So he started off in the mailroom, then did street team, and then from after the street team, we were making the beat tapes on the weekend, and he was bringing the beat tapes and he was playing them for different artists like Havoc, Mobb Deep, Prodigy, Big Pun, and then Big Pun wound up hearing Capital Punishment. And then after he heard that, that's what winds up getting him that promotion from going from street team to being an A&R. So my cousin was an A&R at Loud Records. He A&R'd, he was a A&R assistant on Hell on Earth for Mobb Deep, the Funk Flex projects, the Wu-Tang projects, and then on the Raekwon project for the Raekwon and Mobilarity. That's when I get pulled in, because we were producing it so closely, and I was working with Power, and Power had his own situation in terms of how he would deal with the label. He had his own thing with American Cream Team Entertainment and all that stuff. So then I started working with those guys, connected, and then I came on to Loud as an A&R consultant on that project. So how easy or difficult it is to work with A&R. When you're in the A&R, if you're a good A&R, you shouldn't be difficult to work with. Because you should be looking out for the best interest of the artist and the best interest of the label and try to find a happy medium. So you should be looking for the best music. But, what happens with a lot of these A&Rs now is that they have their own self-interest. And what I saw for a lot of, there was one particular record that we got placed with a label. And after we got the record placed directly with the artist, the A&Rs kept calling. And the A&Rs wanted us to kind of sign with this thing that they had going on, which is they had their own independent kind of writing team and publishing team. And basically what they were doing, they was using that system to hoard the production on the projects. So basically, if you weren't part of that little faction, you couldn't get to the artists that were on the label. And that's really kind of like a game that they were playing for a little while. So sometimes it could be extremely difficult working with A&Rs. And then there are other times where A&Rs, if they're on top of their job, they're really easy to work with. But what I start to realize is that a lot of A&Rs that we've come across most often have chip on their shoulders. They feel like that their ears are better than the artist. And that's not really necessarily true. If you're not really a producer, if you're not really a music head, like really a music guy, like I think some A&Rs should stay out of the way. The A&Rs need to make sure that we don't go over budget. The A&Rs need to make sure that we're choosing the right commercial singles. The A&Rs need to make sure that we're making the right features and collaborations. But I think they should stay out of some of the creative process to a degree. especially today's A&Rs. Today's A&Rs are more like data driven and not necessarily like music heads. You know what I mean? And for the ones that are music heads, you know, you still can't supersede the artist. You know what I mean? Because say for example, you know, you have some songs that would be dope songs, but the artist might make a song a classic. You know what I mean? So some records by themselves, like some beats, you be like, oh man, that beat is regular, and then you throw Drake on it, and then it's something spectacular, right? But only Drake can hear that. The A&R can't hear that, you know. So sometimes the A&R is standing in the way of what can make the artist do some dope music, man. And then other times the A&R might find some dope stuff and might bring it to the artist's attention. But that hasn't really been prevalent like that, you know, from what we've seen in a long time, you know. So all of our placements, if I'm being honest, was never really placed by A&R. It was direct connection to the artist. Like we never went through A&Rs to get our music placed, if I'm being quite frank. So yeah, are they difficult to work with? Yeah, in most cases. Like, you know, talking to these guys are like, you know, some of them it's like, you know, they really got their heads, you know, real far up their asses. I ain't gonna hold you. You know. But, you know, I think sometimes with some of those guys though, I think they just need some good old fashioned violence. I'm only playing. But you know what I'm saying? But you know, because you don't have to act that way. You know? Yeah, this is the music business. People are up and down, man. So you can't diss people, man. Like people be down now and then they be up. You know what I'm saying? So I think of the current hip hop right now, I mean, it's alright. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's alright. Like, what am I vibing to? You know, that new Clips came out, you know? That's alright. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got some joints that's alright. It's like, it's not like spectacular. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got some decent music out there, but it's not like, you know, like spectacular. Like, you know, we need spectacular music. We want, like, what's the song of the summer right now? By now, we would have one. Like, what's the summer song, right? If Drake wasn't suing Universal, that summer song would be Nokia. Yeah, right? That song it would be in a chokehold, right? It would have the whole place on a chokehold, you know. So what you get to kind of see in real time is you get to kind of see the manipulation of the labels, you know, how they can make a record go like they can make a record do something spectacular, and then they could also like muffle a record out, you know. But for him right now, you know, he's supposed to have the summer song. What's the summer song? What's the song that got everybody in the chokehold for the summer? Do I have any unreleased material that I think can go platinum nowadays? Nope. Nope. Yo, man, in order for you to go platinum, bro, you need people got to be behind you, man. You need big money behind you to go platinum, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, going platinum ain't like what it used to be. You know? Some guys would have some decent momentum and are able to go platinum. I wouldn't say easily, but it wasn't. It was difficult, but it wasn't like impossible. Like now, it's kind of like, you know, let's put it in perspective, right? People say why music don't sell the way that it used to sell. It's because music isn't like the primary form of entertainment like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like think about how when we were growing up, like it used to be TV, music, right? Everybody didn't have Everybody didn't have PlayStation. Everybody didn't have an Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Everybody didn't have different places to watch now. Like listen, now we got streaming. People, you got to compete with all of those things now. We got to compete with streaming. You got to compete with social media. You got to compete with dating apps. You got to compete with just being online, YouTube. You know what I mean? So, you know, people are only going to be consuming music maybe to and fro from work. And then especially now, if you work from home, that kind of gets hurt a little bit, right? So you're not really consuming as much in the car because you're not moving around like you used to. You got a lot of factors to that now. You know what I'm saying? And then also, what happens is we don't do a good enough job as artists. We don't do a good enough job of showing people how to consume our music. Back in the days, people would show music getting consumed at the parties. You would have music videos where they show you out, you know, summer party, pool party, roller skating. So we would always kind of show people where we wanted our music to play, and that would help to kind of get it moving along. Like people don't think about that anymore. If you think about a Coca-Cola ad, they don't sell soda; they sell the experience of where you can use soda. You get it? They don't sell soda. They sell that. Hey, I'm at the movies. I need a Coke. I'm at the barbecue. I need a Coke. What I'm saying? I'm out with my girl. I got a Coke. I'm driving fast. I got a Coke. You know what I'm saying? So people have to start thinking of their music in that fashion. It's like we have to start to promote it and market it, not just because it's a dope song, but where can it be consumed? Where can we give people the experience that my music will enhance that experience? We have to start showing them that, but we're not doing that. I'm not sure what's happening with country music, man. It's a different type of time. Have I done any music for commercial work? Movies. We're working on some movie stuff now, so that's coming along. Yeah, anime dropping. Ain't no real summer songs, man. Nah, we ain't. Listen, bro, we ain't trying to do that right now. Doing stuff for movies is not really much different. Angel's asking me the artists that I produce for. Big Pun, Nas, Prodigy, Mob Deep, Jadakiss, The Game, Terror Squad, Killer Mike, Waka Flocka, Max B, Freddie Gibbs, Shorty Low, Alley Boy, uh, Little Scrappy, Trouble DTE, Lil Keed, um, Saha the Prince, Meek Mill. Yeah, you can make a living off of making music, bro. That's the whole point of this platform right now. When I go live every night, I'm trying to show people how they can do it. You can make your living. You just gotta hustle. You gotta hustle. You gotta hustle, and you gotta be real consistent. I hope that helps, man. We've been alive for 3 hours. I'm about to sign off. We're gonna be doing the podcast tomorrow. So, if y'all didn't check it out, Arkatech Beatz Music Business Podcast. Man, appreciate that, man. Got me, more people to join, the better. You know what I mean? Make sure you're checking out arkatechbeatz.com. Um, if y'all need, of course, if y'all need any information about the music business, you can always pick up our books. Those are available at arkatechbeatz.com and Amazon. Making sure that y'all checking those out. A large part of our platform is about education and information. We don't want people being taken advantage of, man. There's no need for that. That doesn't need to happen in 2025. So, I'm trying to arm you with information, and that's why they let people ask questions. We try to tell people, like I said, what we've been through. We have very unique experience. You know what I'm saying? Because our experience is again A&Rs, A&R executives, A&R consultants, right? Staff producers, right? Because we were staff producers for Loud Records, and Loud Records had Wu Tang and Mobb Deep, and you know all of these really great artists. Man, I don't know with no experience. It all depends, man. It depends on how many songs you can record. Somebody's asking how long do you think it'll take to get the flow down with no sound? Is the best platform to display the beats? Somebody had asked that earlier, but I would say right now it's going to be BeatStars. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's probably the best platform because it has what you need to start to move your music immediately. But once you kind of graduate from that, you want to set your own platform up, your own website and stuff away from that. Ain't no skipping the line, bro. People be wanting to skip the line. You can't really skip the line. You know, the only way we get to skip the line is if the people love you. If the people love you, you skip the line fast. If your music is crazy and people love what you're doing, man, listen, man, you skip the line stupid fast. You know, but it all comes down to what people love, man. The people love the music. You know what I'm saying? And then also people not only loving the music, but people supporting the music. Listen, honestly, somebody's asking with no experience, how long will it take to really start making beats kind of good? Listen, if you put the time into it, bro, I don't think it should take more than a year. Honestly, if you put the time in, it's the time in, man. It's the time in, and then it's also having somebody to help you kind of navigate it. Like, if, for example, if we're working on a platform like the MPC, if you're watching, you're like, all right, this is what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you kind of you get the shortcut. You don't have to worry about figuring out certain things because you can ask those questions. So that'll save you significant time. Richard is saying, get the books. Richard, I appreciate you, brother. If you're not able to buy an MPC, I would tell people to go get, you know, FL Studio. Like, that's what I use for my, you know, for my kids to kind of learn the beginning stages of it. Now, how do you know? Somebody's asking on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? Aiden Ray. How do you know when you're ready to start putting stuff out? But I don't have any artists to give or to take, you know, or what they will want. Listen, you make your music, and then as you get your music sounding the way you think that it should sound, you start to test it by putting it out like on YouTube and different places, SoundCloud, that type of thing. Angel, I do know how to play. I do know how to read music, but as far as, like, you know, the whole big, you know, music theory thing, I don't really promote that. I go by how things sound. You know, there are some things that you would need that help. Don't get me wrong. I think knowing music theory does help. I think it helps you to make, you know, more intricate music. But, you know, in this game, less is more, man, depending on your genre. You don't have to do the tight beats route. You still need to put music out. You have to put music out in a place where it can be discovered, right? People are not gonna find you on its own. Like, that's the reality of the situation. So we have to start understanding what these platforms do. We have to start understanding what platforms are good for us. What platforms are good for discovery. Say, for example, like I'm streaming on Twitch and you found me on Twitch, but a lot of people like, Twitch doesn't have a good discovery platform, right? So I noticed that, like, if I'm not being clipped up by 10,000 people, and then you got to put it on TikTok and then tell people to go follow you on Twitch. Like, we're using TikTok for people to find you on Twitch, and it shouldn't be like that. You should be able to get found on Twitch, right? But that's just the system that people are using. So now you have to understand that that's how that platform works, and then you have to make your concessions for that, and then you have to also understand, like, which platform is going to work. So, say, for example, if you're a YouTube person, you know that YouTube got shorts, and shorts can go pretty far if you know what you're doing. You have to know how to title your joints. You have to know what tags to use, what to put in your description. And then you need to tie that back to a longer form video or a shorter term video. So you have to have an understanding of what to do on what platform to get discovery, to get found, right? For example, me going live, the platform that it benefits the most is TikTok, right? So TikTok gives me the most benefit for going live, right? YouTube not so much, but once I take this long form video and then I put it into the AI, and you can also, if you go into my YouTube description, you can see the AI editor that I'm using. You put it in the AI, it'll cut up the clips. You turn those into shorts, and that can kind of drive people back to watch what you're watching. So that's part of the game. But you have to use all of the tools in tandem. You can't use a little bit of them, you have to use them all. Oh, word! I said this. You said I popped up in this live on Twitch. I don't know. I guess the algorithm is being nice to me tonight. We'll see. Because it ain't been nice to me. So sometimes you gotta, if you're not on here going crazy, making crazy faces and doing crazy stuff, making crazy antics, the algorithms don't really like you. It kind of depends. But this is a different type of platform. We're trying to help people. We're trying to answer questions while we're making the tracks. You know what I mean? I'm making the music in real time, and people are being able to watch making the music, and people who want to learn are learning, So it's dope. Yeah, some people are not a fan of Twitch, man. I ain't mad at it. But look, you have to understand too, Ashkin, is that we have to be part of all of these platforms to find out which one is going to work for us, because you might be on TikTok, but you might be a Twitch star. You don't know. You don't know until you're on all of them. You know what I'm saying? So you have to kind of keep your options open, and you have to be versed in all of these things so that you know the lingo, and then you know how to move your brand throughout these things. So we can't be afraid of them. We have to keep trying to push them forward and do what we're doing. You know what I mean? I'm about to wrap this thing up. We're going to listen to In the Ghetto one more time. No, I probably shouldn't have named it In the Ghetto. I should have named it In the Streets, something like that. The ghetto kind of sounds kind of, extra urban. I'm not sure how the subscribe thing work myself, brother. I'm trying to, I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure all that out. I don't know if you got to put a payment thing in. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you got to have a payment source in. You got to maybe, tie in a what you call it? A payment method. Whatever. I'm not sure about that. Daryl Barnes.
Arkatech Beatz.
crazy. Like, it's really crazy. Like, it has to, it builds up in a way that make folks like really like, yo, like, you know, it's that energy, you know what I mean? It's definitely giving that energy like we need to have. So I am not mad at all. You know what I mean? I'm not mad at it. I'm glad that we decided to kind of do this one tonight, because this did not need to be sitting in my MPC. It just did not. Like, it was sitting here, and I'm like, man, this need to go out. So we're gonna make it through what it gotta do. I'm gonna link it with Mike in the morning, and then we're gonna go through all of these joints, and we're gonna see, you know, who's looking, who's working, who's doing what, who's asking, and then we're gonna try to put it all together. Shout out to Ray. You said you could hear who on this one? I don't know. Who's Boldy? I'm not sure who that is. But shout out to everybody that followed me tonight. Boldy James. I'm not familiar. I gotta check that out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that liked the live, shared the live, who sent gifts. Appreciate everybody, man. Appreciate everybody that keeps coming back in. Rich, I appreciate you. Rob, I appreciate you. Ashkin, I appreciate you. Born Ready, Zach. You know what I'm saying? Bass player, Kaz. Appreciate y'all, Indian. You know what I'm saying? These are like my people that come on every night. Are you Creative Space just got here, man? We'll play the beat for you.
Arkatech Beatz.
Every night, man. Let's go. Appreciate y'all, man, for joining our live, man.
Arkatech Beatz.
Thank y'all for the likes. Thank y'all for the gifts, super chats, all that other good stuff, man. Appreciate y'all.